All right, we are live. Ladies, you guys ready?
Yeah, do it.
Yep, ready.
All right. All right, let's do this. We're here.
I love it.
What's up, everybody? We are live. Welcome to another session of the Travel Club Podcast. You guys already know my name is Will. I am the host of this show, number one Polynesian podcast in the world. Oh, wow, let's get it, y'all. I can see you guys tuning in already really early. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're tuning in for the very first time, thank you so much for tuning in. Always appreciate you guys. We have a great show for you guys. We have some beautiful ladies hopping on tonight's live stream. We have some good, controversial, hot topics for you guys tonight to start off. So I'm very excited to have these beautiful ladies to come on. Of course, to all my subscribers out there, the people to support my channel, to follow my channel, and been with me since the very beginning. Thank you so much for you guys for your love and support. You guys already know what to do. If you love the content, appreciate the content, don't forget to smash and press that like and subscribe button. Real quick, I see BL17 on the live chat. Say hello, guys. Hey, what's up, BL1717? Thank you so much for being on the live show already. Thank you so much for your love and support. We have a great show for you guys tonight. Don't forget, this is a public show, so if you're tuning in for the very first time, I do like to hear what you guys think on the public chat. So let's get that public chat going. Let me know what you guys think. Obviously, we're gonna have different topics we're gonna discuss tonight. Always appreciate your different opinions and perspectives and the feedback that you guys always give us on the live chat, whether you agree or disagree. So let me know what you guys think. And don't forget, it is the beginning of the live show. Show some love to me in the live chat. Let me know where you guys tuning in from. Don't forget, if you guys know these ladies or you guys have heard them before, seen their content before, show some love to them as well. And drop a hello on the live chat. I see you, MZ Carol 626 says hello. Hey, what's up, MZ Carol? Thank you so much. Excited to have you back on. I know we had a great podcast last Saturday. Thank you for tuning in and be part of tonight's podcast. We have a great show for you guys. Don't forget, if you're not familiar with my content, if you're tuning in for the very first time, this is a public show where you guys can come on and be part of the podcast as well. I know some of you guys have reached out to me that said that you guys have some of you guys wanted to be part of the podcast as a public guest. I will post the public link on the YouTube live chat. So if you're watching this from Twitch, if you're watching this from Facebook, you have to come to YouTube. I'll pin the link on top of the screen on the YouTube live chat. Just click on that link and you can be part of the podcast. I know I have a lot of supporters out there, but I also know I do have a lot of haters out there.
How dare you?
Oh, all my haters out there, haters out there. I know a lot of sometimes all my haters scared or they disagree with something I said. Hey, I invite you to come on and be part of the podcast. So let's have an open conversation. Whether we agree or disagree, like I said, I'm always open to hear a different perspective, whether or not we agree to it. But let's have an open conversation and create that dialogue. So to all my supporters out there, jump on. Of course, especially to all my haters out there, definitely come on and let's have a conversation. All right. I see new ideas. Said, hey, Malo, hey, what's up, new ideas? Always good to have you on. I know we missed you last time when you were on the podcast, so hopefully you have some time now. You can jump on and be part of tonight's discussion. As you guys can see, we have some room. Don't forget the super chat donations. If you guys want to support me financially with your pockets, I appreciate you guys for all your financial donations. Every single donation will go back to my podcast to give you guys better quality content. And of course, I'm launching my podcast studio at the end of the year. Going into 2023, I'm going to have in studio live podcast. So thank you so much for all your support and your financial donations. So if you guys want to support my channel, ask it through a question or topic. So if you have a specific question or specific topic that you guys want us to discuss live on the show to reciprocate your support, drop it through a super chat donation to support the platform. And I'll be able to prioritize that, read it on the screen, and we will get the live response from the ladies tonight and about the topic that you or question that you may have. But that's pretty much all my YouTube stuff. Thank you so much for everybody out there. We have a great show for you guys tonight. First and foremost, big shout out to my guests. Thank you for taking the time from different parts of the world and be part of tonight's podcast. But like I said, obviously this is a live stream. Some people may not know who you are. I know this is your first time. So ladies, you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves real quick. Your name, your age, what do you do, and what's your relationship status? I'll start with you, Sunny. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Sunni, and I'm from Australia, land down under. I'm 32, and I'm currently dating. I don't know what it's called, that later. But yeah, in between. And I'm I don't know, a few things. I'm an analyst and bartender and digital content creator as well. So yeah, much for having me on the show.
All right, no worries, Sunny. Very excited to have you on. Excited to have you on. I see BL17 said, "My popcorn is ready." Will, yeah. Have your popcorn ready. Have your popcorn ready because I got a hot topic to start off the podcast. So make sure you got that popcorn ready. We always start off the hot topic. Thank you so much, Sunny. Let me pass it on to Chantel. Chantel, go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
Hey everyone, Chantel Anderson here, love and relationship coach. I've been doing this for the past 5 years, helping high achieving single women break the toxic cycle of unhealthy relationships so that they can begin to build the healthy, love-filled relationships that they desire and deserve. I want to thank you again for bringing me on here. I'm 36, married 12 years, and still counting to my best friend ever. And I have 5 children, mama 5. So I'm a pretty busy woman myself. That's what it is. Wow. I'm from Toronto, Canada. Okay, there. I think I answered all the questions. I got it.
So, all right, Chantel, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on here. I'm very excited to have you on. And yeah, we have a great show for you guys tonight. Thank you, beautiful. Thank you beautiful ladies, for being part of tonight's podcast. And thank you. Shout out to this live chat. Thank you so much for all the live comments. You guys are already getting the comment section and the live chat going already. So keep those comments coming. I definitely want to know what you guys think. And yeah, get that popcorn ready. We're definitely going to have some good discussions tonight. But ladies, let's get right into it. We have a great show for you guys. Let's get the show started. So I do have my topic. I do have a controversial hot topic to start of the podcast. A video I saw that kind of went viral on TikTok. It's a popular topic that I always see men and women discuss on different platforms, especially when it comes to relationships and dating. So I'm going to play the video real quick. It's about a 59-second video. So I'm going to put both you ladies on mute so that way that video has a better audio quality for the live viewers. And of course, everybody that's on the live chat, let me know what you guys think. As you guys are reacting to the video, let me know what your reactions are, what your initial thoughts are on the live chat. I definitely want to hear your feedback as you're reacting to the video, the same as us. And of course, ladies, once we're done watching the video, I'll definitely come back to you guys. I'll get your reactions and your initial perspectives to share to start off the podcast. So I'm going to put both you guys on mute. And then let me play the video. All right, let's do it.
Notion that women exist to be attractive to men and exist solely to find a partner so that they can be rescued and looked after is a load of rubbish. It might have been true at one point, but only because women had no other choice. I can tell you now that I give zero whether I am attractive to men or not. What I care about is my own mental health, my own well-being, my career, and creating a life that I can be proud of, that I can enjoy, that I can have fun within, and that makes me happy. Imagine that. And if that means that I must live out the rest of my days as a leftover woman, then I would rather be leftovers than be with a like you.
All right. So yeah, let's. So that was a video I saw that kind of that did go viral on TikTok. So let me just put some context to that video so everybody's on the same page. So pretty much the comment that she was responding to was talking about the sexual market value. So there's a sexual market value of the dating market. So obviously, if you're gonna date, there's a market for it. So obviously, on that conversation, they said that men and women we have different value, especially based on what the opposite sex is looking for. So obviously, based on what each other's based on what men and women are looking for, we have a system based on, okay, is this the type of person that most people want to date and marry long term? And of course, this is the type of person we probably don't want to marry and have a relationship long term. So what a lot of the men are saying on those comments, as I was reading the comments, for a lot of men, from the men's perspective, they said that most men in reality, we know our value. We know the qualities that most women are looking for. And for men that we know that we don't meet those certain qualities, then you're probably not going to be chosen from the women, and you're probably gonna have a low dating value. So based on what a lot of men are saying is, we know that for the majority of women, they want men who are very ambitious, strong, have leadership qualities, very assertive, very confident. I mean, make sure he's emotionally intelligent, emotionally healthy, good father, loyalty. So these are qualities that most women are looking for. So a lot of men, we know there's a hierarchy that the men that have those qualities probably have the best option to choose the women that they want and attract the women they want. And as a man, if you don't put in that work, that sacrifice to work on yourself to improve, to become the best man you can be, then you're probably not going to have the same value as a man that's working on those things and meeting those requirements. So men, we have an understanding that there's a hierarchy system, and a lot of women who are very picky or who they want, the men that they want, they're going to choose those men based on those qualities. But sometimes what a lot of men are saying is a lot of women don't understand as well. It's we men have expectations and things we look for as well, and then there is also in the same aspect, there's a value that we put on a dating market for women as well, just as much as women put value on men. But what a lot of men are saying is a lot of women today don't realize what men are looking for, and they don't realize their actual value. And off the top, if you're the type of woman that most men want to marry, and oftentimes if women don't put in the same amount of work that men are doing to become very attractive to women, those women assume that they're gonna attract men or they're gonna get married. And oftentimes when they don't find the opposite attraction from the opposite sex, they don't find attraction with the men, then they become like that woman. You know, F that, F all the men. I don't need your validation. I don't need your attraction. I can do everything on your own. But what a lot of men are saying is most women, a lot of women today don't know their value in the sexual marketplace. Men, we know our value because if we don't work on ourselves, we just become invisible. We don't get chosen, and we have understanding. We just deal with it. We don't complain about it. We just know if we don't become the type of men that most women are looking for, then we just don't get chosen. It is what it is, and we move on as men. But I think for a lot of women today, especially in today's dating culture, where we're marrying later, we're having kids later. There's a lot of times a lot of women who get to that point when they get older, they find it really hard to find the men that they want, attract the men that they want, and they don't understand that there's a value system. Like you have to work on those things. If you don't put in the work, then you're probably gonna suffer later on in your life. So that was just the context of that conversation and what I saw in the comments on that video. And that's the topic I do want to bring up tonight. I want to hear what you guys think. You know, for a lot of men on this panel and a lot of men who watch on my live chat, that we always talk about the things that we need to do as men to improve, to become the best man we can be, so that way we can attract the best woman we can. But the same aspect for women, there's also it's reciprocated that you have to put in the same amount of work also to attract the men you want. And if you don't do that, then you're probably not gonna get the results you want. But there, men, we kind of know our value. But the thing is, do you guys? The question I want to ask you, ladies, real quick. Do you guys think that most women today in 2022 do they know their actual value? There's a lot of women out there who think that they get marriage material, that men will marry them, but they don't really have the introspect to look within themselves and be realistic and look at themselves on a very objectively that maybe you don't have the things that most men are looking for, and maybe your value is kind of skewed and conflated. You might think that you're the woman that most men want, but if the men are not giving you commitment, attraction, marriage proposals, then maybe there's something that you have to consider and look within yourself. So yeah, I want to ask you ladies real quick. Let me start. Let me start with you, Chantel. Chantel, I want to ask you. You're the dating relationship coach. Do most women today know their real value in the sexual marketplace to be able to attract the men they want? What do you think? Oh, let me push you off mute. There you go.
Okay. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, very good.
Yeah, you can hear me. Everything you were saying, there's a lot loaded there because it's just like when you say women want men who are leaders, that they can lead very well. That's something that a lot of people are saying. Women want men who are leaders, but what is leading and what are you leading? And what are they doing when they lead? Like, let's, you're saying that men know exactly what they're supposed to bring to the table. It just sounds like there's a lot of words that we're just throwing out there because they're so familiar and we've heard them so many times. But really, what is a man leading and what are you supposed to be leading? The second question is when we talk about happiness, a man said, you were saying that men you know, we know what we got to do to be, you know, to be able to attract the right mate or be able to find the right woman, and we know what we got to do to make sure that we have the love that we need. Well, love is not general. Happiness is not general. It's all specific to, you know, each individual. So what do you mean when you say, you know, we know what we got to do? What is it that men have to do? I'd like to know what is it that you guys are saying you guys understand. And then the second thing is value. Value is not, it's not, value is not about what somebody else deems me of. Value is personal. So when we say women don't know their value, you have to break that down for me, what you mean by women not knowing or not understanding their value.
Okay, so let me break down this sexual. When I say value, I want to make sure we're all on the same page. It's not human value. So as human beings, we're all valued the same because we're all human beings. We should all be treated with respect equally. I'm talking about the sexual market value in the marketplace. What makes you attractive to the opposite sex? So that's what I mean by sexual market value. So that's why I brought up before. You know, men understand also, but like I said, if you want to look into the scientific data and science and biology, we understand that we know what most women, the certain traits that women are very attracted to biologically. So when it comes to sexual attraction, women are attracted to masculine traits. You know, they're attracted to a man's confidence. They're attracted to a man's physical attributes, height, a man's social economic status. I think that based on the scientific data, they said that the two primary traits that women are attracted to is a man's educational and financial attainment. So his social economic level and his intelligence. And I don't know if you know the term. They have it. It's called hypergamy, where women would date men in the same social economic or higher. So, so men, we understand that these are the things that women are looking for. So if you don't put in the work to make sure that you build your value to be attractive,
what's the work? What's the work that we're talking about here? What work are you talking about?
Social economic value. So we know that women like a man that has social economic ability to provide a protector, to be that provider. So if you, like I said, that's why there's a song for it. We don't want no broke men. There's a term for that. Women say this all the time. Like, we don't pay my bills, we pay my high telephone bills.
Okay.
It's all about the. So as a man, if you don't work on your finances to be stand on your own 2 feet and be responsible to take care of yourself and be able to financially take care of your children, your woman, and you're broke and you're unambitious and you're lazy and you're undisciplined, you have no goals for your life to provide a better future because women are attracted to security. You're not going to attract most women. So our value as men, we understand that our value is based on our ability to provide and protect most women. If you don't become a strong provider protector, if you're broke, unambitious, and lazy, your value extremely low as a man, and most women are not gonna pick. Most women are take you seriously long term. All right, but like I said, but the opposite also applies to women. There are certain things that men look for, which is totally different from the attributes that women are looking for men. And if women don't meet the certain standards that men are looking for, then their value is going to be based on that. And like I said, if there's certain things that women do that men will avoid. They're like, no, that woman has low value. I am not going to wipe that woman up. I'm not getting close to that woman with a 10-foot pole. Hell no. But that woman right there, that woman right there, she has value. I'll wipe that up, marry her, and I'll give her a long-term commitment. So we have sexual market value. Whether, like I said, as human beings, like I said, I want to make sure everybody understands there's a difference between human beings. We all should be treated equal. But like I said, for me, I'll treat the person who's rich the same way I'll treat a person that's poor. But as far as attracted to you, that's a different story. that's a different story. Sexual. I hope that clears up things for you, Chantel.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you're saying to me, basically, are women ready to put in their work, or even do they know what their work is? Is that what you're asking?
Well, no. What I'm saying is do women know their value in the sexual marketplace? Because a man that's poor and broken, undisciplined, fat, and lazy, he knows he's in the bottom of the. He knows he's the bottom. He's not. He's not aspiring to like, oh, I'm gonna date all these guys. I'm gonna try now. Like he knows he's in the bottom, and he knows that the realistic possibility that he's probably gonna die alone unless he makes some changes in his life. But what the men are saying is there's some women out there who have the assumption that they have high value, but realistically they're not. So they assume that they're gonna attract the man that they want, or they're gonna attract the husband they want. But from the men's perspective, they're like when they look from the outside in, they're like, no, you don't have high value. And that was the video that based on that video, she was responding to that comment. The guy was saying, lady, you can sit here on your TikTok video and say that you're very high value and men want you, but men don't want you. And that's why she was responding that way. And that's what the guys were saying is a lot of women out there don't know that they have value. They don't know their actual value in the sexual marketplace. And because a lot of women don't know what men are looking for.
I feel like what the word you're looking for is desirable.
Same thing, yeah.
I feel like when you say value, value is an individual thing. Someone for themselves can know what they're worth, but to say,
well, that's why I made the. That's why I made
it puts it into a context where it's almost like, I mean, people are priceless. It's like you're putting a price or a context on them, or, you know, putting them in a certain mold. Yeah, I think it's more desirable. Do I think women understand? You know, some women might say, yeah, I'm highly desirable, and absolutely they're not. Absolutely they're not. Where some women have the potential to be highly desirable, but because of their own insecurities, lack of self-confidence, they aren't able to tap into that. And another thing is I feel that society has made women believe that the way you are to be desirable is about, you know, going out and getting that money and having the status and having the paper and having the education. And that is not what makes you desirable to a man. That is what, that's actually a repellent. Right, yeah. That's a complete repellent. And I like to say for the ladies that I work with, when I talk to them about dating or talk to them about relationships, you know, society, men built society. They created everything, right? And even the workforce, like women just joined it just not too long ago, right? Before it was just strictly men. So everything has been built for men. But when now we as women are coming in and we want to make a name for ourselves, the sad truth is women haven't always been regarded or respected as equals for a very long time. They've been suppressed by their male counterparts, and they're coming in and they're looking to be respected. They're looking to be taken seriously. So they think that in order to do that, I have to compete with men. We are not competing to go out and make that money and build that lifestyle. Then you're competing. But when it comes to relationships, it's all about connecting. Two different things. And when we're talking about any kind of connection, it's two opposites coming together. So if we want the man to be the provider, and we want the man to be the leader, and we want the man to be confident, then the woman, she has to be the nurturer, right? She has to be the one who is able to receive, the one who is able to, you know, nurture a household, etc., etc., etc. So there has to be two people doing two different parts to make the whole dream work. It doesn't work where two people are doing the exact same thing and fighting to be on top of one another. Does that answer the question? Yeah.
Yes. They answered some of it. I do have some questions for you. I'll definitely come back to you. Definitely. Thank you so much, Chantel. Let me pass it on to Sunny. Sunny, what do you think? What do you think of the question? Obviously, you saw your reaction to the video, but what's your thoughts on the topic? Do modern women know their true value on the sexual marketplace? Oh, I didn't get off mute. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I think like I can't say for because I don't really. I can only judge for myself and with friends as females because I'm not. I don't know. I don't survey other women. I only care about myself and my friends around me. But I think I like generally like if you're I'm quite independent, for example. So most women who are independent they as you said, we are getting married later, having kids later, and women have want to build a career and stuff. So I think there's a lot of independent women that I know, and they're becoming like entrepreneurs themselves, and therefore holding their relationship a bit behind. So in my answer to that is that I do feel like women do know their sexual value in the marketplace, because the people around me, like, they're quite entrepreneurial. They've come a long way for many years, and the reason why we're all still single is because we can't find the guy that is basically on kind of like the same level, at least on the same level or as us, or as ambitious as us. So I think, I don't know, yeah. So that I do feel women know that with the people around me, I can say women do know their sexual value in the marketplace. But I must say, like, there are other friends that I know that where the ladies expect a lot from the guy, but yeah, she basically does need to look herself in the mirror because she doesn't, I don't know, for example, she's not herself, and she expects like a prince charming to come and take care of her in that kind of sense. Yeah, those are basically like friends of friends that I know, but yeah, but I guess, like, I don't know how to answer that on like that kind of level, but I think just you only need to know, like, you only need to know yourself what you think your value is, and yeah, and for sure, if women don't, or men don't look like self-reflect themselves, look at themselves in the mirror and say, oh, why, what can I improve, or anything like that, then obviously there's something wrong with them. But so I think in that sense, yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't know. It's just I mean, it takes two, right? So like, yeah, like, yeah, it's a very broad kind of question. You can't really have one specific answer, but you can only like really answer for yourself, and unless you're like you deal with a lot of women, yeah, like Chantel that.
All right, no worries. Thank you so much. All right, thank you so much, Sunny, sharing your feedback. Let me just read some comments real quick. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. Thank you so much for all you guys in the live chat sharing what you guys think. Let me just read some comments. I see BL17 said, I very much disagree with you, Sunny Wen. Most women overestimate their value in the sexual marketplace. Hey, thank you for sharing it. Whether you agree, disagree. Thank you, BL17. Too Wonderful said, let me see, I see some comments from Too Wonderful. Too Wonderful said, highly desirable women usually equates to highly delusional. All right, that's what you think. And of course, New Idea said, I feel like desirable is more of a physical wanting. All right, no worries. Yeah, thank you so much for everybody on the live chat. I know what do you guys think? Let me know what you guys think. Whether you agree, disagree. Definitely want to hear your feedback. But ladies, we all had a chance to respond. But I do want to open it for open discussion. I did take some notes based on some things that you guys said. I do want to respond and kind of challenge on you guys a little bit. But I do want to open up the floor for you guys with the certain things that you guys wanted to bring up and respond to. And we can create that dialogue real quick. I'll start with you, Chantel.
Sorry, could you repeat your question? I didn't get the last part.
I don't know. So yeah, let's open up for open discussion. I know we've all had a chance to respond. And are there certain things that you want to ask more about? You want to go more in depth in, or certain things you probably didn't agree with, and we can dive into those things and go more into that.
I mean, on the topic of women finding, I don't really know if there's anything more to say really on top of what we discussed. I think that there are women who do know, and there's women who don't know, and then there's women who don't know, but they're following exactly, what they think they're supposed to be doing, and they're wondering, why am I not meeting someone? Why am I not getting married? Why am I not finding somebody? But at the end of the day, what makes a woman truly desirable isn't about Yeah, for men, it's, you want to make sure that you're a good leader, sure. That, you're confident that that you have a good job and you could provide. Those things are important. But for women, I feel the most important thing is about getting to know yourself and finding your own happy. You need to be able to um have emotional regulation and be able to support the health of someone's mental wellness, spiritual wellness. First of all, starting with your own, but really it all happens when you start to create your own happy, you
Mm.
know? And it's not about being desirable or valuable, if that's what you want to say. Some women think it's all about making the man happy. I jump into the relationship and I see, okay, I look at his life and I say, okay, what can I fix? What can I make better? And they think, okay, well, if I've done all these things, how come he hasn't given me the ring yet? How come he hasn't asked me to marry him yet? But nobody can make somebody else happy. The only thing that makes you desirable, the only thing that makes you shine is when you're living your best life at the end of the day.
Okay. All right. No worries. No worries. Okay. All right. So, and Sunny, anything you want to add on real quick, based on the response, or before I kind of go over some things?
These
Yeah,
comments are coming in.
I agree. I agree with. Yeah, I agree with Chantel. I mean, like, if you start like working yourself and just love yourself before you can you find the right partner will just come. Basically, if you just work on yourself and make yourself, then you don't need to. And also, the wrong thing is like, if you expect that you can change that person, because you go in a relationship, you're meant to accept that person for who they are. That is what your goal is supposed to be, not to change them in any way, but probably each other on like their bad habits and make each other a better person. A partnership, right? So it's not like you're not in a relationship thinking that you can change that person. All right, it's happened so many times where people just jump in and they think that, oh, don't worry, over time she'll change, I'll change her into that. And I'm like, no, I already said that from the relationship that I'm not like that, and that if you're not going to change that. And then they're like, oh, wait, what? Okay. So jumping into a relationship thinking that you may change that is the wrong idea as well. So you're basically meant to accept each other for who they are. That is the key thing here. And I mean, desirable, and you're willing to. It's all about compromise as well. It's not like one side thing. This is why it's so hard to find a relationship, because no one wants to give, and it's a partnership, it's a take kind of thing, and you're meant to help each other out and help improve each other and accept your. No one's perfect, all right. No one is perfect, and that is something that we need to accept each other. We need to be able to accept their flaws, his or hers or her flaws, my flaws, his flaws, whatever it is. So I think that is a key message here as well. And I'm not sure what BL17 say, that women that are over 35 is not very highly sexually desirable. I think that putting a number and age on a woman or male is incorrect thinking already. And I think you're looking, whoever you're hanging out with, you need to find a different circle. And clearly you're not in the right circle, okay, BL17.
I agree with that one. I agree with that
All right. All right, no worries. Sunny, thank you for sharing. And yeah, you clap back towards BL17. Hey, it is what it is. Okay, so ladies, a lot of I did write down some of the things you guys said, which I want to challenge you on, because I think I do disagree. But I want to ask you guys real quick. Obviously, I mentioned before that we know men, for the most part, we know what women are attracted to. Like I mentioned before, women are attracted to a man's socioeconomic status, the same level higher. They're attracted to confidence, assertiveness, ambition, courage, masculine traits. But I want to ask you, ladies, what do you guys think that men are attracted to? Men are attracted to the primary traits in women that they're very attracted to, that they would see as high value for them to be like the first option for them, that this is the type of woman I want to marry. This is the type of woman I want to commit to long term. So I just want to ask you guys, if you what are your thoughts on that question? What do you guys think what are the traits, the things that men are attracted to consider high value in the sexual marketplace? I'll start with you, Chantel.
I believe men are looking, or women look for someone who can lead and protect with their head, right? But men are looking for someone they can share their heart with, someone who can create that safe place, someone who can be nurturing, somebody who they can connect with on a personal level. And I know men are more physical, logical, whereas women are more spiritual and more intuitive, I would say. They want someone who is, in tune with their femininity, where they can tap into those things as well, right? It takes both of those things to get the job done, to make the dream work. So, I mean, I don't know if you guys, I don't know. I don't know about the people on this live or not, but whether it's God, whether it's universe, it's a man who serves God, and woman is there to be a helpmate. But even when a woman's a helpmate, it doesn't mean that she has to be great. You got to be great in order to be a helpmate. So that means developing yourself within. So I think for that part, that's what men are looking for.
Okay, all right, no worries. Thank you for sharing that, Chantel. What about you, Sunny? Sunny, what do you think? Well, obviously, we know that there's certain things that women are attracted to in men. But based on your opinion, your perspective, and your experience, what do you think that? What are the things that men find very highly attractive, highly valuable in a woman that they would consider that this is the type of woman I would be my first choice to marry long term?
I think men are quite simple-minded. So I think if the girl is able to basically cook, and it can look after the guy when he's sick, so you can see like he can be a good mother to his children, like a family type person. And I think, and because I think more girls are more like, they're more emotional, whereas guys are just more simple-minded. They just want to be, I don't know, have a good sex life and have good food in their tummy, basically. That's very simple to me. So that's what guys want.
Yeah, I can totally agree. I know Too Wonderful said on the live chat, men are attracted to food. You're right.
Oh.
You're definitely right. You're definitely right. So, no, the reason I guess the reason why I asked that question, because I think we have to start off with that, because sometimes when we have these conversations, I think sometimes women have the misconception that our sexual attraction is the same. But obviously, for men, I think based on not only our experience as men, but also like the data out there, the research, it says the primary traits that men are attracted to in women. I think some of the things that Chantel mentioned, and you as well, but they're attracted to a woman's youth, beauty, fertility, and femininity, nurturing, caring, loving. That softness of a woman, right? So those are the things that men are primarily attracted to in women. Now, I think one of the problems today, I think, because one of the great things about modern society, we have progressed, and the great things about today's opportunities for women, you guys have the ability that you guys never had before, was you have the ability to enter the workplace, and you guys have the ability to have a career and work, which is great. I don't have a problem with that. But I think what's happening today is a lot of the things that the modern society is pushing women to do. I believe that there's also some consequences when it comes to their sexual attraction and attracting the type of man, especially having a relationship with the man. Because today, in modern 2022, women are pushed to have a career, pushed to earn a high income, and sacrifice some of their youthful years in order to attain a degree, attain education, attain financial freedom, which is not a problem. But what's happening today is the very traits that they exhibit to attain the career or the education they want. Oftentimes they sacrifice their youthful years. So like usually these women like in their 30s and they don't and they probably start to lose their ability to have children. And of course, some of these, in order to attain a certain amount of income or a certain amount of career, you have to be ambitious, very assertive. So, but sometimes a lot of these women tend to have very masculine traits. And of course, for a lot of women, like I mentioned before, women only date men in the same socioeconomic level or higher. So the higher a woman has a higher education, the higher she goes up in the socioeconomic status. That means she only wants to date men in the same level. But the thing is, the men in her dating pool is a very small minority of men. And that's the only women that she wants to date. Every man that's below her, she's not sexually attracted to him because most women want to date men the same level. But the problem with that problem is the men in her level, the very successful, highly educated men, they're still attracted to like I said, to the younger, more beautiful, more attractive woman. So that's why oftentimes what a lot of women are finding out when they get older, or especially when they're pursuing a career or education or degree, that the men in their circle that they would love to date, the men who are just as ambitious, just as assertive, just as confident, have attained the same amount of goals, they find that these guys are not giving them attraction and commitment, and they're just going for the younger woman. So oftentimes I do see for a lot of women, if you don't understand the difference in sexual attraction, oftentimes I do hear from a lot of women, they would say, I have degrees, I'm strong, independent, I have a career, I can make my own money. Why aren't these men coming towards my way? And that's why a lot of the men are saying, you don't know your value. You don't know your true value, because the things that you're bringing to the table are the very things the men are not looking for. But they have this assumption that because they think that sexual attraction is symmetrical, it's the same, they think that their value is just as high as the younger, feminine, nurturing, loving woman. But for a man, is a woman that's nurturing, caring, feminine, beautiful, attractive, youthful, wants to be a mother, wants to raise children. For men, they find more value in that woman than a woman that's strong, confident, ambitious, and wants to pursue a career. And I think that's where this conversation, and that's why we're having this conversation, because a lot of independent, successful women believe that their dating value is at the top of the sexual marketplace. What a lot of men saying, I'm sorry, that's our value. Our value is based on our socioeconomic accomplishments. So for those men, it's really high. But the things that we're looking for, we want the feminine woman. We want the mother. We want the carer. We want the nurturer. We want the cook. We want you to cook for me. I want you to clean for me. I want you to support me. I want you to support me, compliment
Then
my
it
life.
needs to be respected.
Yeah.
It's not respected. And that is
Yeah.
why women do not want to stay in that position. Period. I
But
remember a time when okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I'll just say this to pass it back to you. I think women still want the same thing. I think the problem with this today is I think women are not picking the right men. I think if women pick the right men, because I think all women still want the same level of men. They still want the ambitious, the national leader, the dominant, the provider, protector. I think most women still want that. But I think the problem is there's a lot of men out there that have those traits that I just mentioned, but they're, but like I said, they're toxic men, right? They got issues and they don't know how to lead, and they don't know how to lead a relationship, and they don't know how to treat a woman. But they're still attracted to the same traits, because oftentimes I do see if a lot of women, they keep going to the same men. It's like, why all these men are the same? Well, the thing is, like you say, you're still going towards the same men, even though it's these same men. But the thing is that you can't control your biology as a woman to be attractive, because I've seen women who stay with a guy that's strong and ambitious, has a career and confident, and even though he's treating her unwell and disrespecting her, but they will never go with the guy that probably has a low income or probably less ability to provide protect her. Even though that guy maybe respect her more and give her the healthy relationship we want, but there's something innate within women that I don't want to date men lower my level, even if I might get the relationship I want. I just want to be with the guy, the strong guy, and then oftentimes because of that, that's what happens. But I'll pass it back to you, Chantel. What do you think?
No, I was just saying that post, that role, that place where like women, they want someone to cook, they want someone to, take care of the home, take care of the kids, nourish the home. There's a lot of women who would love to do that. Even when we're talking about submission here, there's a lot of women who would be happy to do that, but more and more women are laughing at even the conversation of that because it is not being respected on a whole. Women at home not being respected, children not being taking care of, children not being respected. It's being taken it, or they're not seeing the value. They're taking it taking it for granted. That's the word. That's the word I'm looking for. It's being taken as for granted. It goes back, yes, to at the end of the day about learning how to attract the right kind of men, or dating the right kind of men has everything to do with you. If you are attracting emotionally unavailable men, it's because you're emotionally unavailable. If you're attracting men who emotionally wraps up, but if you're attracting men who neglect you, then chances are you're neglecting yourself. If you're attracting men who just want, chances are you're not even giving to yourself. You're always giving, right? So, at the end of the day, it comes back to you. But you touched on, men wanting a more youthful woman, a woman who's younger, more beautiful, more this, more that, nurturing, all these things. They want the women who have not been hardened by life, and hardened by men who have mistreated them, and hardened by men who have broken trust and broken hearts. That's what that comes down to at the end of the day. They have not lived life yet. They have not experienced life yet. And they're looking for that. Women, I remember a time not too long ago where every song was about being an independent woman. Miss Independent. That's why I love her. You guys know that song? Like there's so many songs. She has to get her own money, her own this. This is being pumped out. So women are hearing this and saying, oh, okay, this is what I have to do. I have to go out and get my education. I have to go out and get my money. I got to go out and make sure, And they do these things, and yet still there are men who are not showing up like they said they were showing. I thought they said they wanted a Miss Independent. Like, what's happening? What's going on, right? I find that women get into that place of masculinity because of two things. Either they have to provide for themselves, or they just didn't have an option to the man in their lives didn't show up as they were supposed to, or they have to protect themselves or prove themselves, right? So it's like a cycle that kind of doesn't end. Like we're putting our women in this situation to be masculine, and then we turn around and reject them because they are masculine.
Okay. No worries. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Chantel. Let me pass it to you, Sunni, because I do want to respond back to you. I wrote some notes down. I'll definitely come back to you. But Sunni, but go ahead, Sunni. Anything you want to respond? Anyone want to add on to the conversation? Go ahead.
But also, like, women are also finding younger guys too, because they just don't find. They're not fine. Like if you're independent, you got everything. You don't really need a guy, really. I mean, you just need a guy. Because like Chantel said, everyone is over 30, generally over 30. Everyone's gone through that very heartbreaking, cheated on, whatever it is, all these bad relationships with men, loss of trust. And women have this build this so high that you don't really open yourself up, even if it was the right guy. And it's just a mechanism that we all do. I mean, just to protect ourselves, because you can only protect yourself. No one else is going to protect you. But in saying this is why also, like, if we can't find the same level as the guys, same level as us, we also look for younger guys too that can also basically just satisfy us in other ways. So it doesn't. If we're already independent and we're already we don't really need a guy in some sense. So unless, yeah. And there is actually nothing wrong with like girls finding younger men. And some men these days are actually more mature than than older men that I know. Like there are guys that are old, like older, and they so immature still. But on the other hand, there are like guys that are under, and their sense of maturity is really is so far beyond, which is quite surprising sometimes to me. Yeah, that's all I just had to add.
No worries. No, I just want to respond. First, let me go over some things that you said, Sunny. I think the thing you mentioned before, you said that a lot of women older women, they're starting to date younger men, and that's what you said. In my opinion, I don't believe those women want to date younger men. I believe they date younger men because that's the only options they have available. It's that because when they get older, and especially if you have more money or you have a higher socioeconomic status, because you can't attract the men to the same level, you have to start looking at some other ways, some other options. So oftentimes when women can't attract the men and they want, oh sorry, my bad, that was a misfire. All right. But yeah, when you can attract the men in your level, even though that's your first choice, then you have to settle and look for what's available. And what's available is younger men, because statistically, if you look at
for men, the same thing can be said for men.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the same thing for men. I would agree with you, Chantel. If you can attract a younger woman because that's a man's first choice, then you have to settle for what's available. It's other older women. So the thing is, for women is, statistically for women, like they prefer dating men 5 years or older. It's out there. There's been studies that show that women prefer older men, and then men prefer older women. But I think as a woman, you kind of like put yourself out of your dating pool, because the older you get, if you delay finding a man because you've worked majority of your youthful years to attain some kind of economic stability and degrees in education attainment, then what a lot is the older women finding out that their dating pool is extremely small, and the men that they want can't attract them, and then they still want somebody to be with you because they're still a woman. Still want a relationship, so you still have to date younger, and that's only a small minority of men. But a majority of women, if that was their choice, they prefer older men. And I've had women before on this podcast who are very strong, independent, very financially successful. They do date younger men, and I had a conversation with them. And I was like, "Is that your first option?" And they would agree with me, like, "No, the men that I want, they go with a younger woman. So I have to go. That's my only option. I have to settle for what's available. Is go with the younger men." And also, just to go back to Chantel before I pass it to you guys, I know you said that society is, are not respecting the value of a woman that's cooking and cleaning. I don't think it's the men who are not respecting. I think there's a difference between disrespecting a woman because the man doesn't know how to run a relationship. But as far as the values of cooking and cleaning, being feminine, being a good housewoman, I think men have always valued that. I think what changed that narrative, I think, is feminism. I think feminism has told women, hey, cooking is not a valuable thing. It's not being feminine is not a valuable thing. You know what's more important to your life as a woman? What you should prioritize is a career, degree, and independence. I think feminism is the one that's pushing that narrative, because I'm telling you guys right now, I've never in my life heard a man said, I hate that woman, or I disrespect that woman because she cooks good. I don't like that woman because she's feminine.
Are you married? Are you married?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Like I said, I've never heard a married man. I've never heard a married man or single man or any man in my life say that cooking, a woman that cooks, a woman that cleans, a woman that's feminine, a woman that's a nurturer, a woman that's submissive, a woman wants to be a mother to my children. I've never heard them degrade that woman because of those traits, right? But I will say this: there's a lot of men out there who don't know how to treat a woman. So it's not like they don't value those traits. It's just they may disrespect a woman, but they don't disrespect the traits that makes us attractive to them. But feminism is the one telling women, cooking, that's slavery. That you're being suppressed or you're being oppressed if you stay home, if you cook and clean. That's the patriarchy. That's the man trying to put you down. Go get a degree. Go be financially independent. And they're pushing women to do those things. But what we're finding out later today is based on statistics, 50 women who are over 30, 50% of them are not married and they don't have children. So a lot of, like I said, they pursue these careers because of feminism, because of the societal norms that we exist today in modern society, but they don't tell them the reality of the truth. That's why we're talking about the topic. Do they know the actual value of the marketplace? They don't tell the truth that you can pursue that. That's fine. But they don't tell them the reality that when you get to that point, it is going to be extremely hard for you to find the woman. And like I said, but the women that are attracting the men they want are the women who are focused their youthful years to be feminine, to be very submissive, to be very cooperative, to know how to cook, to know how to clean, to know how to handle a household. And those are the women that are always getting married, and they're always attracting all men, whether it's the same level, lower, even the very high top 20, 10 to 20% of men. Pass it. I know Chantel. Pass it back to you. I know you have something to say. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's not so much that it's, oh, I can't stand that woman because she can cook. It's not that. It's when you have to be the one who's always cooking and you have a partner who can help but chooses not to, who can help clean and chooses not to, who can help take care of the kids and chooses not to. You know, when you're constantly, like, everything needs a break. We're human. We need rest. We need to feel like we've been taken, someone who is showing you value is someone who's going to be considerate. You know what, babe, I've seen you've been working. Don't worry. I'll make dinner tonight. Or, don't worry, baby. I come home and the place is tidy. Those things show a woman that she's appreciated. But when she's the only one and she has to be doing it all the time, it becomes abusive, and it's not being taken advantage of. It's not being appreciated. And so now all those older ladies who had to go through that, they're going to turn around and complain. And the younger generation who sees those women who are, basically slaves for their family and had to give up their entire life, now they're just like, oh, forget that. Don't be that. Go get that money. Go get that job. Don't be like me, who is in the house slaving away, taking care of kids. I had to give up my entire life because her partner didn't help her. Her partner said, it's your job. It's your job to cook. It's your job to clean. It's your job to this. I believe that we have different roles or different areas where we're more gifted, but at the end of the day, we're team and we need to be helping each other out. When it's something where your partner is appreciating your cooking, appreciating your cleaning, appreciating you watching the kids, and is giving back, now it's a pleasure. Now it's a joy, right? But because we have so many women who have grown up looking at it like it's slavery, they go out, they completely dismiss it at all. They go for the job, they go for the lifestyle. I don't need a man to this. I don't need a man to, but they're missing out on the joys of what it is to be able to activate those gifts within you, right? So it's not just feminism. It's coming from somewhere. It's coming from not being respected, especially if you're like, it takes a lot to be cooking for a family on five. I'm a mother of 5. Okay, 12 years married. It takes a lot to be preparing food, cooking, and running a household. This stuff is real. But if my partner didn't show me appreciation, right? If my partner treated me like it's more than but that's my only role. That's my only thing that I bring to this relationship. Like, I'm just supposed to be here cooking and cleaning. Well, then, it turns into something abusive. And now this gift that I'm supposed to be enjoying is something that I can't stand. And guess what? I'm going to tell every other woman now, don't forget it. Don't be staying at home. Don't be doing all these things. That's where feminism comes from. But it's not just feminism. We have to take care of our women so that they can be soft and stay soft. And then we can enjoy their softness. But we can't be making them hard. And then there's, especially because there's men today who have seen their grandmothers slaving away and expect the women today to be doing the exact same thing. Well, my grandma did it. My mom was a single mom and she did it. She took care of 10 kids. I never had to clean. I never had to cook. What do you mean you want me to do what? No, that's your job. You go do it. Yeah. That is what I'm talking about in terms of when you're taking advantage of it. You're making your woman masculine and then you're tossing her because you made her masculine. The only time a woman becomes masculine is when a man has to is when she feels she has to defend herself, or she feels she's not safe, or she just safe emotionally, spiritually, mentally. When she doesn't feel she's safe, she's gonna go into that masculine. And when she's been doing that for years and years and years, when she hits 35, 40, 45, good luck opening her up. But to all the women who are listening, if you don't learn how to open up, if you don't take the time to learn how to heal those emotional wounds, girl, the only one missing out is you, right? So it's not, even though I understand why we're here, it's not the reason that we should stay here.
All right. I see BL 17. Preach, Chantel, preach. All right. I'll definitely come back to you. Chantel, but I'll pass it to you, Sunny. Sunny, do you anything you want to add on? If you want to add on, go ahead, Sunny. Anything you want to add on?
Yeah, I agree with what Chantel. I think also that fact that if the guy treats the woman like as if it's his mother or his, like I know guys where they've left and stayed at home, for example, or they've always just needed that kind of motherly figure to do everything for him, and then they expect that from their girlfriends or wife or whatever it is, and that is basically all the house cleaning and the cooking and everything, and that's just wrong, because it's actually quite fun when you're actually cooking with your partner, for example, and it's a fun activity to do together. It shouldn't be like the girl should always just cook and clean and do everything, just throw the rubbish out, mow the lawn and everything. Like it's actually a lot of hard work, and let alone having kids. I'm not married, so I don't know that side. That's probably a lot more work. But yeah, so yeah, definitely, like the guy should be appreciating the women to even just to help, not to cook or help hang the washing together. Like it's a like I said, it's a partnership. It's not like you do this is your role, or like we're not back in the caveman time where like many years ago, and like where women were like that. But now, because times have changed, it's a modern world now, and it should be like dual kind of. It should be, the responsibility should be like mixed. It should be both women and men. So yeah, that's all I have to add to it.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that, Sunny. No, I totally agree with you, Chantel. But I think the only thing I disagree is, like, I do understand. I think the men who are doing that, the men who have good women who cook and clean, who compliment them and give him all the things that he wants, and he doesn't reciprocate and validate. I think that's just a man who doesn't know how to lead. I truly believe. I think he doesn't know how to lead. He doesn't know how to treat women. But I do believe that at the end of the day, the very things that those women do are still the same things that all men want. But in your example that you used, that for those women that did those things for the men, they didn't get that appreciation, and they didn't get that respect from the men. I totally understand why they would leave. But I think for me, talking to married people, because I know I talk to people who are married because I am very interested to find out what works, so I can replicate that. I'm always interested to talk to people who have the results I want from my own relationships. And what I found in those dynamics is the reason why those relationships work. I do agree with you. There's different roles in a relationship. I don't really like the term partnership. I like the term that there is roles. But one thing that when I talk to those couples who are married for a long period of time, they respect and value each other's roles very much deeply. That the woman knows that his man is going out there and working every single day, and she respects him. And then same thing for the man. Even though he knows he works, he doesn't see his position or his role better than the woman. He knows that as much as I'm the breadwinner, I can't be myself and have these standards without her. Exactly. I know she brings the same amount of value I do, even though our roles are different. Even though it is different, but the value that we bring to unite and form this unionship and raise his children is the same. And I think there's a lot of men out who don't know how to lead, and they don't value what the woman brings to the table, either from issues that he grew up, or maybe he didn't see the good examples with his own father of maybe when he grew up as a life of how to treat women. But I do see the same thing for women. I know there's a lot of women out there that have good men, being strong provider protectors, but they don't value the men of what they bring to the table, and they do the same thing for the women. But I think the problem with those women is just because I think they made a poor choice on the men that they chose. Because I do believe a woman that wants to cook and clean and do those things for the man, if they're with the right man that respects her and values her, they'll be willing to go over and beyond for that man. Happy to cook,
Happy.
happy to clean, happy to do it. Right. The same thing for men. Man will be happy to wake up single morning at 5 o'clock in the morning and work a 12-hour shift, Monday to Saturday, maybe 7 days a week. He'll be happy to do it if the woman is valuing his role and reciprocating respect. But I think if both sides don't understand each other's roles or communicate and be able to respect each other's roles, and I do see that's a problem. But I would say this for those examples used: if you chose the wrong man, I think one of the biggest mistakes a lot of women do is that they don't take accountability on saying, you know what, I chose the wrong man. I'm still going to cook and clean for the next man. And I think the problem what they're doing is they stop doing the very things that men are still valuing. Look, but they don't realize you picked the wrong man. But don't stop cooking cleaning. Which the next man is still going to value that. The next man you're going to find in your life. But the thing is, like, if you stop cooking and clean, doing the very things that men are attracted to do, and then tell other women to do, hey, don't cook and clean because I went through it, I got a bad outcome. I think if they're not taking accountability, look, I just made look, ladies, the next generation of women, look, I just made a poor choice, but still be good, but still be feminine, still be a good, good woman, you know, cook and clean for your wife, but just make sure don't make the same mistake I made. I picked the wrong man. Pick a good man because that good man is gonna value that. Because I think that's what's happening. Those women who have bad experiences with men will tell the women to do the opposite of what they did, but the very opposite things they're gonna do are not the very things that men are attracted to. And if those same women are like, well, how come these men are not coming my way? But the thing is, men still want cooking and clean. Men still want feminine energy. Men still want nurturing, caring, loving women. Men still want soft women. But if you pick the wrong man, just understand you picked the wrong man and move on and make sure you give that same effort to the right man that's going to reciprocate it. But if you stop doing those things, then the men are. It's the same thing for men. Like if a man's a good provider, protector for his woman, and the woman is a terrible woman that doesn't respect him, he can't stop being a good provider, protector. You know what? I had a bad experience with that woman. I'm no longer going to be ambitious. I'm no longer going to be a hard worker in my job. I'm no longer going to be a financial stable. I'm going to because that one woman, I had a bad experience with him. I'm going to stop being the very things that made me attracted to her. And for me,
but there's lots of men that do that. There's lots of men who will turn around and be like, "Oh, don't get with a gold digger," or "Oh, you can't show emotions," or "Oh, you can't let this is how you're supposed to treat women," and they get all like overly masked. It's like this they put on this mask and they puff themselves up and they try to be certain kind of masculine. Why? To protect the one time or the 2 times that they got hurt.
Yeah, we do it. I do it. We do it both sides.
Exactly. What you're forgetting, okay, is that for a woman to be feminine, it's coming from a place of softness. Okay, that's tender. Okay, it's very, very. I don't want to say fragile and let the ladies who are listening think I mean it's weak. It's not weak, but we're giving of our most tender parts, okay? Like a man who is going to share his emotion or give his heart to a woman, that is a tender part for a man. It doesn't mean that the man is weak. He's sharing that most vulnerable part for a man. For a woman to be feminine and to give of herself emotionally by cooking, cleaning, she's emptying out her vessel for this man, and he turns around and he does something like that to her. It's not got it wrong this time, but get to the next time.
Yeah.
That kind of pain people do not just bounce back from. I'm sorry, no, they do not. So it's like if I got into a car accident, right, and it was really traumatic. Perhaps, I don't know, the person was drinking or something, right? And I got into a car accident. It's really traumatic. The way your mind and your subconscious mind is going to work, when pain and fear come together, you're not going to turn around and be like, you know what? I'm cool with cars. I'll just make sure I make proper choices. What you're going to do is develop a fear of cars. You're not going to want to go around them. You're not going to want to be in them. You're going to avoid them at every cost. You're probably going to move inner to the city. Why? Because you do not want that same kind of pain, that same kind of fear to happen again. It is the exact same thing, especially for some of these women who have been giving of themselves the entire relationship and have gotten zilch back, or they've been disgraced. the husband or the boyfriend went and cheated publicly or did them dirty or talked down to them or physically abused them after I turned myself inside out for you. And I'm supposed to be like, next time, still going to do those things.
Oh.
You're supposed to. I understand what you're trying to say, but before you even go there, we have to acknowledge exactly how much that is the pain that comes from that, the fear that comes from that, and why. And then we can talk about why we need to deal with that pain, why we need to deal with that fear in order to move back to let's do this again, because there is something there. There is happiness there. There is fulfillment there when you can tap into those things about you. But we can't just talk like, oh, the next guy. Just do it for the next guy. Yeah, you just picked the wrong one. It's not, you're saying it, the way you're saying it will have every single woman saying, okay, next. I don't even want to hear what this guy has to say.
No, I'll pass it to you, Sunni. No, I understand that it's not easy when we make bad choices in our lives.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, like I said, it's not easy. But like I said, life. But this is the thing I will say to everybody, both men and women. Life isn't easy. We make mistakes.
Whoa.
Consequences. But like I said, no, but look, I'm telling you, I think what women need to hear. Look, I understand that things, because both men and women, we do make mistakes, and we do things that we go through. We make bad choices in our life that affects us mentally, emotionally, and sometimes it gives us trauma. But at the end of the day, is if you want a better future, you have to take accountability for the things, learn from it, make sure you work on those things, and move on. But you can't use that as a reason of why you're never gonna get the things that you want in life, because you'll never be successful that way. Anybody that's successful understands that they all fail. I've made bad choices in my life. I've just certain things that people have done to me that I will always carry within myself, and and that trauma will always be within me. But I don't allow that to stop me from moving on and learning and growing, to stop me from my future. So the thing is, like I said, both men and women, I'm not ignoring the pain. I'm not disregarding the significance of the sacrifices that they made for that man. But what I am saying is, when you take accountability, and when I know people take accountability, you have to take accountability for what happened and then to move on. But I do see a lot of women out there that's saying, oh my God, I can't do it. They still want a man. Like I want a man, I want a strong man, I want a husband, but they're not moving on from that part. So I think for me is, if you don't take accountability and make the changes to learn to grow, then you can't complain and why you're not getting the outcomes you want. So if those women decide to, I don't want a man, I'm done for the rest of my life, I'm gonna be alone. That's fine. But you can't use the same sense. I want to find a partner that's gonna be better than my last, but I'm still stuck at the same place and I haven't done anything in my life to take personal accountability to make the changes and maybe go to therapy, whatever help that you need to move on. You can't, and if you don't put in the work to work and grow from that experience, you can't have both. If you want something better, learn from your mistakes and move on. This applies for both men. This applies for both women. But the thing is, I do see a lot of women out there. They're saying, I want my husband, I want this and this and this and this, but they're still living in the past and they're still thinking about the pain. And what the fortunate thing that happens is, the next man that comes along that's actually a good man, that's better than the man that she had previously, but she's still bringing the past and the things that happened from her past relationship to the next man. And then now the next man now has to deal with him, but they have to deal with her past. And then that's a whole nother cycle that doesn't break. So I agree with you. It's like I said, I'm not being ingenuous and being and not have no empathy for the women that have gone through it. But at some point in your life, you can't live your whole life that way. At some point, you have to take accountability.
We're on the same page. All I'm saying is, and this is me, whenever as a coach, when I'm working with my clients, it's all about intention, right? And, there's no point in me showing up, if I don't move with intention. I got to say to myself, okay, what's the message that I need to deliver so that my client can have the understanding so that she can facilitate her own transformations? And a huge part of that is understanding her pain so that I can speak to her in a way where she feels safe to
Yeah.
receive what I have to say, and then apply it, and then take that accountability, and then make
Yeah.
those changes, right? So
Yeah.
when we say stuff like, yeah, I know it's hard, but life's hard. That's completely denying, completely just making them feel like, whoa, this person doesn't even get me, doesn't even understand my pain, and I'm checking out. I'm not even gonna
Got
listen.
you.
So
I
we're
got
on
you.
the
I
same
agree.
page. We're on the
I got
exact
you.
same page. Absolutely, ladies. If you want that relationship, there are so many men out there that are ready to treat you the way that you want to be treated in a relationship, be seen, heard, valued, and understood in a loving, healthy relationship. Believe me, there are so many men out there, but we have to take the time to work on ourselves so that we can attract the man that we want. And I'm telling you right now, your happiness is what will attract that man. Your happiness lights your femininity up, and that is what drives them to you. So yes, we're on the same page, but I just got to put it out there. We have to take accountability for what they've been for. Because when you take accountability, you're saying, I see your pain, I understand your pain, I'm keeping your pain safe. So you don't have to think about it for the moment. Just think about what you need to do to let that pain go. I got you. Okay. So it's important how we speak and what we say. Just sharing with you.
Yeah. No. All I'm saying is I know men personally who have been with women who had bad experience with the men, and the men are like, and they don't cook for these men. They don't nurture. They don't show their softness. They don't submit. They don't try to
Yeah.
softness. And the men are like, look, I know you had a bad past, but these are the things I want. But they're like, you know what? Last time I had a bad relationship, this hurt me, so I can't give that to you. And he's stuck in a very situation where he's not getting what he wants. And that's just the thing I do see. So it works both ways.
Yeah,
I understand
absolutely.
the getting point.
Absolutely.
But let me pass it to Sunny. Sunny, I know you had to see. You had to see. I want to ask you what's your feedback, what's your opinion. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're all on the same page here. I think I mean, I've done that same mistake before where I've, brought the past relationship to the new relationship, and that didn't work out. And then I didn't know at the time, and then it just, and then obviously it ended. But basically you need a clean break, first of all, from your last relationship, and you need to be ready, because the new guy that you're dating, or girl, is a different person to the last one, and you just have to be, take, reflect on yourself, get over the relationship, do what you got to do, and just get past it and learn from the relationship, and grow. And then if the new one starts and new one comes your way, then that's a clean slate, because he's a completely different person. And another mistake that most women do as well is that we compare the relationship from what we have now to your previous relationship, and you shouldn't do that, because you're a different person, so you can't expect that guy to do the exact same thing. So you need to really let go of the past. The past is the past. It didn't work out for a reason, and that's why you're in this new relationship. So yeah, that's another point as well, that you just need to start afresh on a new page when you're starting a new relationship. And with that, if you like the person, love the person, it's a natural course that you would cook for him, or do the house chores, and do his washing, and clean the place. It's a natural course. You don't have to say you're like, oh, I don't want to cook for you. I mean, maybe you don't really like this guy, that you're not willing to want to cook for this. It should be a natural course of action. If you're really in this relationship and you like the person, you like her, that's what you do. I mean, it's a fun activity, like I said earlier, to cook or do house chores together, or if the girl does it alone. So yeah, so I think don't bring your past into your new relationship. You gotta clean it. You gotta clean, get over that relationship and when you ship, it's a different person. Don't bring the past and don't compare him to your previous relationship. That's another mistake to do. And definitely, you shouldn't change the way you are who you are. You shouldn't say like if you had I'm not gonna stop traveling. For example, if I had a bad experience traveling overseas with my ex, and I'm like, oh, the next relationship, I'm not gonna travel with him because last time we ended up this and that, and we end up breaking up or whatever. Like you don't do that. It's just you continue being yourself, and you shouldn't have to change your ways because you didn't work out relationship. You just do you. You just do you basically, and the partner should do himself. And then like if you guys click and you guys work out, you just naturally, do things together. And the girl will cook for you and do the house chores and show the softer feminine side and take care of your future kids. And that's the way it should be. But it's just so hard these days. I don't know why, but yeah, it's still hard finding the right partner.
No,
But that is, I mean, theory, talking about it is easier than when you're actually in it and you're like, you're in the relationship. You're like, you don't see from the outside point of view, and you're just in it. But when you're like, as we are now, it's more clearer. But when you're in it, it's a completely different thing as well. But yeah.
no worries, Sunny. Thank you so much for sharing. I can't agree with you more. I think like you said that you should leave the past behind and focus on the new relationship. I totally agree with you. Let me read some comments real quick. I see Della Valfusi with a $9.99 super chat donation. All right, shout out to you, Della. Thank you so much, Della, for your financial donation. I appreciate you for your love and support. Thank you so much. Always appreciate your support to my channel. Let me read some comments real quick. I think BL17 said, Chantel, you should start your own YouTube channel. You seem to have a very fairly balanced knowledge on dating and relationship. Yeah. I definitely encourage you.
Soon.
You definitely tap
I
into.
think you should too. It goes well with your relationship coaching thing. Bring it on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
Right. Too Wonderful said, men and women need to address the baggage from the previous relationship before they're starting something new with someone else. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Too Wonderful. And I think Della had some. Let me see if Della had some comments. There you go. Della about Fusi said, and that's what keeps me going. I'm the only one going through it. There's always someone that has it harder. All right, that's good. That's a good perspective. That's all I'm gonna say. I think Chantel, the reason why sometimes I may come very hard on when people talk about their problems because I grew up I didn't grow up in the U.S. I grew up outside, so I have a very hardened view of the world because I've seen the struggle that people in third world countries have gone through, and then sometimes when I see people in first world countries complain about modern problems, when I know that they're living a good life compared to most people, that's why for me sometimes like, okay, you have problems, like figure it out, because there's people out there in the world that have real survival problems, but they're still finding a way to move on with their life. And if they can do that, I know that people today. But I know we live in a very modern world, and sometimes people lack perspective. But that's why sometimes I may come off like that. But
no worries, none at all.
Yeah, it's just like like you said, I come from a very hard upbringing, and I've seen real struggle outside. So, but yeah, thank you so much for everybody sharing that point of view. And before I pass it to you, ladies, I just had one time I wanted to ask you guys. This is something I always hear from a lot of women, especially women who are older. I want to ask you guys, and I would love to hear Chantel's perspective because you're married and you have 5 children and you have a loving husband. Oftentimes, I do see from a lot of women who tend to not get married, and as the older they get, I do believe that sometimes I hear this notion that, oh, I don't need a man, because I think some of you, I think Sunny, you said I don't need a man, but a lot of women would say I don't need a man to be happy. For me, I totally disagree. I think men and women were created by God. There's a purpose why He created us, for us to be together. I don't think not only biologically, but I think God, whether you not believe in God or not, but I believe God created us to be together, and our purpose is to be together to create a family, and that's where we find the meaning, fulfillment, and the purpose of our lives is building our family and fulfilling our biological function. I don't believe, if you ask anybody in this world, would you want to live and be alone and die alone for the rest of your life? I think if people were very objective and be honest, they'll be like, no, I don't want to die alone. I want to be with somebody till I grow old with and die. And oftentimes when I see people who are single or very older, and I just see if a lot of people on social media, content creators saying, "Oh, I'm happy. I don't need a relationship. I don't need a family. I don't need the kids." But I know women like that person who will say that on online, but behind closed doors, that they're unhappy. And there's also polls. I saw a study out there. There was a study and poll. It said that the most unhappiest demographic right now in America are women who are over 40, above middle class, who are very career oriented, but they don't have kids. I don't have family. Even as a man, for myself, I still want to get married one day. But I know for myself as a man, I don't want to die alone. I want to have children to create a legacy. I don't want to live the rest of my life being old. I think when you get older, when I've talked to older grandparents and great grandparents, what gives them life is when they see their grandkids, because they already live most the majority of life. When you get to 60 to 70, like what gives them hope is whenever I've seen it before when people take their grandkids to their grandparents, man, there's this energy they feel when they see their grandkids. And I think families is one of the reasons why we were created on this earth. And I think that part of our happiness and meaning that we're going to find in our lives is with family and with a partner. But I think that sometimes in Western society, I do see a narrative: be strong, independent. You don't need no man. You can be happy with on your own. I think that's very surface level. But I think deeper, when you go in depth, people are really honest. Uh, if they don't have a partner when they hit 40, when they hit 50, they don't have kids to share that all the accomplishments you have in your life, you don't have somebody to share with. I think that's a very lonely life, and I think you're not gonna be happy. But I think there's a lot of things that we push on men and women to don't worry, they're not seeking a partner. I think it's causing people to make bad decisions early in their life, and they're not learning to take accountability to fix it when they still have time. And they tell themselves, "Oh, you know what? All these people that I look up to, all they're telling me that they're happy. So if they're happy being by themselves, maybe I'm happy." But I think they're just lying and selling them something, selling them a dream to kind of financially support them in their platforms and not being real. So my question to ask when I ask you ladies, do you really believe that people can be by themselves and be single their whole life without children or family and still be happy? Because I do hear people a lot of say that, but I think that's just a cope. They're just coping and they're not being real. But hey, maybe they don't see it now when they're 30 or 40, but I think that reality hits 60, 50, 60, 70. I think that's what because I've talked to people who are single, no kids, who are in their 50s and their 60s, and then 70 have conversations with them, and they say like, if I had a choice to go back and redo everything in my life, I would actually take it serious with my previous relationship, try to fix some things in my previous life, or maybe you know what, I should make better choices when I was younger to actually find the good person I really want. But I want to ask your opinion. Uh, what do you guys think? Do you guys really believe that we can find happiness as human beings, men or women, without no relationship, without no kids the whole life? Or maybe I'll start with you, Chantel. What do you think?
I do believe you can be happy.
Okay.
You don't need a man to be happy to find your own happiness, but
But
we are human beings, and we are made to connect. And you look at every single part of our aspects, how we are, energy wise, physical wise, we're made to connect, and there's a reason for that. In these relationships, it's the connection that keeps us strong, keeps us growing. We take from each other and give back, and we grow as we're taking, and we're giving back, and we're helping that person grow. It's like water, right? You think about energy. Sunny, you said you went to Niagara Falls. What makes Niagara Falls so amazing is all the energy that's moving it's moving together. But and it's so powerful, right? It creates electricity. But if you were to take a bucket and scoop up that water, I wonder how powerful it would be a day away, 2 days from that time, a week. It becomes dead, right? And it starts to produce all this disease. That's exactly what it is with our energy. We need to be connecting with each other. I believe that people think that that they're going to be single and they're going to be on their own because there's there's some level of trauma, there's some sort of fear that has taken place, and it's just all they're thinking to themselves is, I'd rather be alone than suffer with abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, spiritual abuse, etc. Right? So I don't think anybody, if you were able to show this person who said, I'm happy on my own, if you were to show them that it's possible to be with somebody who can support their happiness, then they would take it in a heartbeat. Absolutely. And there's also a different side of you that is activated when you become someone's wife, when you become a mother. And those are innate gifts that we have, not we have to, but it's a big part of our spiritual growth, mental growth. It's a different life. All of a sudden, you're tapping into a whole different world when you get there. So to not connect, to not, I want to say not to get married, yeah, but not get married, not connect with someone, not build a family. It's like you're stunting yourself spiritually. Even the Bible says it's good for a man to find a wife. He doesn't truly become a man until he starts to govern a family, right? So, and it's the same thing with a woman. So, do you need somebody to fully experience everything that God has given us to experience? Absolutely. Are you miserable on your own? No, you can find happiness, but you need a partner to be able to activate every single part of it. Okay. Because you can't, if you have kids on your own, it's not the same experience if you have a partner, right? If you never get to share your most intimate parts with somebody, physically, emotionally, someone you can actually, understands you, knows you, sees you, watches you grow, like there's a part of you that doesn't get activated. So yes, you can be happy, but you only go so far, right? It only goes so far. So yeah, you do need to connect. That's how we're built. That's just the biology of a human.
That's why I said I like what you said. You can be happy, but you can only go so far. That's why I said reality hits when 50, 60. Because when I talk to people in the 60s and the 70s who single, I haven't heard anybody say that if I had a different option, a better way, I would actually stay like this. They said that every single person I've talked to in their 60s and 70s, if I had a time machine to go back, I would try to figure out to make sure I do have somebody to grow old with. All right, Chantel. Thank you so much, Chantel. Man, you're dropping some bombs right now, Chantel. Thank you so much. And also you, Sunny, man, Sunny, you've been dropping some good facts out there. I see Ty Michael on the show said the game Michael. This is another great show. Ty game Michael, no game but Ty game. Hey, thank you Ty. The game Michael. Shout out to you, man. Thank you so much for being on the live chat. I know I'll see you next Wednesday because I know we have a podcast together. I'm definitely excited to have you on next Wednesday. But Billy, pass it to you, Sunny. I know, Sunny, you're traveling around the world. You're living your life, but like I said, do you believe? Do you agree that can we truly be happy on our own and no children, or do you believe that, like Chantel said, maybe that can only be good for a certain period of time, but maybe as we get older, we do need somebody to be there with us later on in life, so that way they can motivate us and push us and activate the very things that Chantel mentioned to keep going. What do you think?
Well, I'm not 50 or 60 yet, so I can't tell you whether I'll regret the decision. I think at the moment, like for me, because I've been independent and left home when I was 18, so I'm in my 30s now, and I do find happiness just like traveling with friends or just by myself solo, and just building my career and everything, and trying to start my own business on the side. But to the extent that but I definitely know that you definitely. So I am happy now by myself, but I'm also happy with a partner, because you definitely need a partner. So far, that you definitely need a partner. I don't want to be dying alone by myself, and you don't want to go home after a long hard day of work, like not talking to anyone or sharing your bad day, or just talk to someone. And having a flatmate is quite different to your partner. So it's like you really do need a partner, and you can definitely find a happiness with partner. But in terms of family, I haven't made that decision, because for me, my mind still hasn't changed that I don't want family. So I'm not sure on maybe as shared her point of view, because she's got family and things, so probably I'll take that into consideration after this podcast. But the family, I never thought of having family, and for us Aussies, we love our dogs. So if we have a dog, then that's kind of having a child. So we love our dogs as much as having a child, and it's as expensive as having a child as well. So I think in terms of family, I would just like first I would do is probably have a dog with my partner, and I've actually sponsored a child as well overseas. I prefer helping a child that's already like in a third world country rather than bringing another child into this world. That's my way of thinking, because it's already a lot of kids that don't have parents and are in like very bad environments where we can help those children rather than saving one child more than bringing another one into this world. So for me, passing on my legacy is not really a thing for me, even though I am Asian, but I guess I'm more Australian ABC. So, but yeah, I think you can be happy definitely by yourself, like just being single, but you definitely will be more happier if you have a partner. So that's where I will stand. I'm not sure about having a family, but maybe that's more happiness in your other side that Chantel mentioned, but I'm not in that mindset or haven't gone thought that far yet. So, but you'll definitely be happier with a partner. So that's my answer to that, and probably just have a dog. That's my current thinking at the moment, but that might change if the right partner comes along, and if he wants family, then people change for and do crazy things when the right person comes along. So you never know.
Okay. All right. No worries. Thank you so much, Sunny. Thank you for sharing it. All right. And thank you for everybody in the live chat. And don't forget, this is a public show. So if you guys want to jump on and finish the last part of the podcast with us, definitely click on that link to jump on that link. And don't forget, if you've been enjoying the content, don't forget to like channel. All right. Well, ladies, thank you so much for the opening topic. I know that the topic took us a majority of the podcast. Like I told you, it's a hot topic. Sometimes when the topic is hot, the conversation just keep going. That's why the conversation just keep going. All right, but no worries. But ladies, I want to pass it to you to finish up the podcast. I know some of you guys had some questions or things that you guys want to bring up, and we can kind of conclude the podcast with that. I'll start with you, Sunny. Sunny, is there a topic that you want to bring up, and then we can kind of discuss that and move on from there.
No, actually, I didn't really think of a topic, but I was just reading the comment that what was it say? Someone said, "Too Wonderful was married to gambling." Oh, I guess like as a deal breaker, gambling is very bad. Sorry, I just had to comment on that comment. It's like if the guy gambles, it's definitely a deal breaker. Yeah. Yeah, because he literally does not ruin. Not only does it ruin friendships, but like literally relationships and families, and I've seen it. And like, yeah, it's really bad. So please don't gamble. that's my message today.
Okay, all right. What about if that's he's good at it? He actually makes good returns on his gambling. Is that okay?
No, there is no such thing as make a good return. I've worked in the casino before. And the odds are always to the casino, okay? You no matter what they say, and no matter what financial model you build, or like mathematical model, or bad like luck that you've measured, or you're even counting really hard to count cards these days, so you can't win in blackjack, okay? But yeah, so no, do not gamble. There's no such thing as being good in gambling. That's just like no.
No worries. Well, I think Too Wonderful said that maybe gamble in moderation. He's a moderate gambler. Just a couple.
I mean, like
couple bucks.
Yeah, like having a punt, like what if I watch the footy? I'll put like $10. Yeah, I don't mind that. I'm saying like don't put like $2,000-$3,000 or like there's a limit. Like maybe max $100. Like probably $100 because that's max, but not like $2,000-$3,000. A friend that's currently gambling and he's having a baby on the way, and I'm just like, oh my god, and it's just really really bad. And yeah, it was. So yeah, I was yeah. So if you gamble like a very chronic gambler, no, that's definitely not. I mean, you take a punt, put $10 on a footy show, yeah, sure, why not? I play I'll buy lotto tickets. You never know. You got to be in it to win it, as they say. But that I don't call that gambling. That's just a little mini pocket change. Let's just call that. So
Got you.
that's
All right,
okay. But
no
not
worries.
as if for a lot. Yeah.
All right, no worries. Thank you for that, Sunny. All right, I know Two Wonderful is responding on the live comments, but yeah, let me pass it to you, Chantel. Chantel, you have a good topic for us to finish up tonight's discussion?
Yeah, I got one here. I saw here in the comments that I wanted to address. It says, to the panel, besides sex, what can women provide in a relationship if the man can cook his own food, clean his own house, pay their own bills, etc.? That's what Two Wonderful was saying. I'd like to know what you guys have to say about that.
Yeah, I have heard that discussion before, because we live in the modern times where men and women, we have to learn how to do things on our own now. So men now realizing, a lot of women don't cook and clean because it's no longer looks like I have to cook and clean for myself.
Right.
So a lot of men, they can pay their own bills, they can cook and clean, they can do all the things that the other role would generally do, and then sometimes they meet women who don't have the skills that our mothers or great mothers had, that more feminine role, and all they have is sex. So a lot of men are like, what is she bringing to the table? So what's your thoughts? That's a good topic, Chantel. That's a good topic.
What's your topic? I'm putting it to you as the man first. Since you're the man here, if a woman is with a man and she knows he can cook, he can clean, he can do all those things, besides sex, what else can she offer him? You're a man.
I would say this. I think, in my perspective, and also talking from other men, I think for me is that I want a woman that can support me and just make my life easier and just make my life peaceful. So even I can cook and clean myself, because I grew up that way back in the islands where I grew up. The men had to cook and clean. That was normal for us back in the islands. But I would prefer a woman that can cook and clean. That's very attractive to me. I love a good food. I love a good meal, a home cooked meal. Food is the key to my heart. One of the keys to my heart. But if a woman can't cook and clean, if she can find other ways to make my life more simple and make my life more peaceful, if she can just make my life easier, maybe just do laundry. That's
like
a
what?
thing.
Like, but
if she can't cook, she can do my laundry. We're gonna have kids. I do want kids. As long as she can take care of my kids and make sure that I don't have to worry about the safety and the well-being of my kids, I can live with that. If she, I don't need her to be a cooking. I can understand if she can't cook, because you have to have some kind of skill to cook, because I want some good food. So, but cleaning, come on. If you can't clean as an adult, if you can't, that's a necessity. That's a necessity. That's a necessity. Like, if you can't clean, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know how you survived to this point without learning the basic necessities. So you can't tell me you can't clean. If you can't clean, I'm more worried about your own or about your own hygiene. So the cleaning part, the cooking part, it's not a big deal for me, because either I can do it, or maybe I can find somebody else I can hire somebody to cook. That's not a problem for me. Or I could teach her. Like I said, she's very coachable, that she wants to learn. And I know there's some women that may not know how to cook, but she has the desire to learn, and I can work with that. But the cleaning, that's a deal breaker if you don't know how to clean, because how? I just don't know how you don't know how to clean. You have to know how to clean. But
so that's your deal breaker. The women have to know how to clean.
And like I said, I don't need to be like a professional. Just be an adult, be mature to know how to clean. But for me, just know how to like I said, know how to find some ways to just make my life easier. So, is raising my kids. Reach out to me. Hey, are there any things that you want me to plan? Any things you want me to take care of? If the financial stuff, the bills. Hey, you know what? The things. This is about running out of the house. I don't have to worry about replacing anything in the house. This to buy anything that we need for the house. I don't like shopping. I hate to shop. So she likes to shop. So you know what? I'll do all the. I'll take care of all the. I'll make sure we fill everything in the fridge. I'll make sure we everything in the house that needs to be replaced as far as the soap and all these things. I like that. So those are things I don't have to worry about. It takes my focus and energy to do things I like to do, which is I like to work. I like to work on my ambitions to focus on building a future from financial security future for me and my family. That's what I prefer. I like to do. But anything that she can do that takes away time for me, but I can focus on things I like to do, so I can provide for my family. Because providing my family is I believe that that's the role of a man. That's what I was taught. I'm very traditional. So the cooking part is I don't that's negotiable, but as long as she can find some way just to make my life easier and she can make my life more peaceful. When I come home at the end of the day of a long day of work, she comes, hey, she comes maybe like helps me get to sit down. Do you need some water? Do you need something? Maybe give me something, some refreshments. Those are things I saw with my upbringing. When my grandfather and my dad came home, my mom would always come and like, hey, you need something? They would tell my sisters, hey, go grab something for your dad. He just came home for a long day of work. Go get him some refreshments. Or get him something to drink. Or get him something to eat before we have dinner. So those things. So I know a lot of women don't like the word catering to a man, but I like to be catered to. I like to feel like the king in my household, and I'll definitely make sure she feels like a queen. I think every man wants to feel like a king. So I just want to feel like a king in my household, and anything, like I said, if she's lacking in one area, I think for me is if she has a desire to learn. And that's it. If she has a desire to learn, hey, you know what? I don't know how to do these things, but you know what? Let me try to learn and try to make your life better. And like I said, if I know she's doing that for me, I'm definitely gonna go out my way to do everything I need for her. And if anything that's lacking from my end that she needs from me, it's the same thing. I'll reciprocate. I'll learn too. So I'll learn some things. I'll learn some things to give to her. But if you can't give me that, it's just sex. That's not enough because sex gets old after a while. Like after a while.
It's a physical activity.
Yeah.
It's not just a physical activity, but it's not everything. That's what women think. Oh, I got the good. I got the goods. It's not that, honey.
I think that's my conversation with men. Like we just want to be appreciated for the work that we do, especially the men that want to take that responsibility to provide and protect us. But I just want peace. Men, like I said, men are like you said, Sunni. We're just real simple. We just want peace, and we just want peace. We don't want arguments. We don't want to really I want a woman that's if we have problems, we can be very cooperative in our way we disagree to figure out a solution. But yeah, we just want peace. We just want a person that can make my life easier. And if she can find any way to make my life easier, so I can do the things that I need to do to be the man of the household, man, that's a keeper.
Yeah,
that's a keeper. That's a keeper. But yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
I'll pass it back to you guys. Well,
Sunni, what do
you think? Yeah.
Can I have a question to Chantel?
Sorry,
you don't have to answer. It's a sort of personal question.
Before I pass it to you, I want all the ladies you watch this right now. If you notice what I said, I did not say anything about independence, about a career, about money.
Exactly.
I did not. These are things I've talked to men. These are things we're not looking for. So like a lot of times, I just want to make it out there. These are what men want, and I think a lot of women are like they have to think they're confused with what men want. Like that. I mean, you have a career, financial independence. That's great. Like, do you, girl? That's your life. But men just want peace. We're very simple. We just want peace. We just want a supporting woman. Make us feel like a king. And if you pick the right man, I guarantee you that man will reciprocate it and make sure that you feel like a queen. I'll pass way up. Yeah, go ahead, Sunni. Yeah, if you want to ask that personal question, go ahead.
Chantel, what's your life like after 12 years of marriage?
What's my? Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Life.
Physical life?
What? Yeah, sex life.
Wasn't prepared for that question.
Right, because
that's all I'm talking about, Sunni. That's
it's
what we do.
Yeah, because like we were saying, like it's not just about sex, it gets bored after a while.
I got no complaints. You see, at the end of the day, it's between my husband and I. It's not just physical. Everything is, mental and spiritual. We connect on that level. So we're always going to find each other irresistible, like all the time, right? I think in the beginning of marriage, and for a lot of people, it's rough. It's tough. Nobody talks about the first years of marriage. 1, 2, 3. Some people say first, some people say 2, some people say 5. I think it's the first 7, to be honest with you. When people divorce, it's usually between year 1 and year 8 that people fall off and they get divorced, right? But at the end of the day, it's about owning your own trauma, baggage, not projecting it on the other person, learning how to build trust. Those things are scary things, but once you do build trust and you have that friendship relationship, for me and my husband, it was always about friends first. That was the first thing that we built, and our whole marriage is built on our friendship first. And so it's like, no matter whatever arguments we have, no matter situations we have, even when it was really tough, because we had that foundational friendship, we have always been able to come back to a level place and work on our stuff. But when it comes to my physical life, I got no complaints. None whatsoever. What I was going to say to Wonderful was, I think that we need to stop, as women, we need to stop focusing on the exact roles, because it's not necessarily the actions. Cooking is it, and cleaning is it. I think that for women, we are nourishers, okay? And our job is to nourish the household. Man provides, keeps it safe. We keep it safe too, but more on a mental and emotional level, where men is more physical, right? Not to say that a man can't protect your emotional. He should still protect your emotional and mental, but a woman really knows how to tap in and see the things that a man can't see. You know what I mean? So it's all about how you, first of all, you got to figure out who you are as a woman. There's so many different kinds of women out here. Figure out who you are, what your femininity looks like. And then for you, how are you going to nourish this home? Does this mean that you're going to be cooking 5-star meals each day? Are you going to be making sure that, laundry is pristine? Like, what is your way? Are you the type of person where, like for me in the beginning, I was making fun. I learned how to cook because I met the right man. I didn't know how to cook, nothing. But once I met the right guy, I was inspired to learn how to cook. And in the beginning, I was trying to do 5-course meals all the time, like big meals. And I realized I don't need to do that, and that there are times where my husband, on the weekends, he'll take over the cooking for me, you know what I mean? And give me a break. And sometimes it's going to be, everybody kind of just fends for themselves. But it's about finding where I am as a woman, what I can do to nourish the house. So maybe I might, and there's different women who maybe they're not great cooks, but they're fantastic cleaners. Or maybe they're not great cooks, but they're fantastic planners. Okay.
Planners,
know how to maybe plan a proper cleaner to come in and do this and know exactly what's supposed to happen and plan wicked meals ahead of time. You got to figure out what your great talent is when it comes to nourishing, and then you attract a man who is in line with that, and that's how you run the household. It's not about every woman doing the exact same thing, trying to meet society's expectations. That's where we go wrong, right? So when we ask this question, it's because we don't understand exactly what our role is as women in a household, and it starts off first out figuring out what your role is going to be as a wife. You got to figure out the type of woman you are going to be in your own life first. So figure out your life before you become that wife. And you'll understand, okay, this is who I am. This is who I'm going to be. When my husband comes along, he's going to know who I am. And this is what I'm going to provide in the household. And that's how we move forward. Okay? All right. That's my answer.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Chantel. I had a question for you, Chantel. Is your husband the primary provider and protector, financial provider?
He is. Yeah, Yes, absolutely. And my husband, he is my, I have a business that I run. I have 5 children at home. I have a household that I gotta take care of. He's the primary source. And even though he works like 15-hour shifts, he still supports me in my business. It's like it's a yin and yang. So like, he goes out, he does his thing. I'm the one who makes his lunches. Right, I make his lunches, and man, he'll make sure he calls me and says, "Yo, I really love that sandwich," or "I really like
Yeah,
what
exactly.
oh, I feel so good." And because he came home, he called me to tell me how great his lunches were, how great his. I'm like, okay, let's see what's next. And I'm on Pinterest and I'm looking for new things. This is 12 years into marriage, and I'm still getting excited about making my husband some lunch or cooking him some food. The way that he brags to his family members and to his mom and to his work. Oh, my wife, she could cook some good meals, and they come around. Oh, I heard you're cooking some good food. Now I want to go out of my way. And when we have family over or whenever we do, hasn't been a while since COVID and everything, but if ever we should do, I'm happy to pull out the curry goat, pull out the oxtail, pull out the, I'm Jamaican. So, pull out all those foods. Absolutely. 100%. But it goes both ways. And every once in a while I'm telling him how much I appreciate him. And this man, yeah, I got a good I got a good one.
Okay. So Chantel, so I want to ask you. So where do you see? Because obviously you see the generation of today, right? One of the criticisms that I hear from men is that the women, they don't no longer have the skills to be a wife now, right? So all the things that you just mentioned right now, that's what men are looking for. But what men are looking for, what men want, oftentimes when they see the average woman today, that they don't have those skills, or maybe they don't have the desire that they want to attain those skills. And what a lot of men are saying, they're like, man, like all these women, all they do is they know how to post pictures on social media. All right, they know how to party, they know how to be fun and travel the world and be independent. But when it comes to relationship and the needs of a man, a lot of men are saying is like this generation of women, because of the social norms and the ideologies and the narrative that's pushing them. Hey, go be single, be independent. You don't need to cook and clean no more. You don't need to cater to a man. A lot of women might hear that word cater to a man. They'll be like, oh my God, that's so toxic. All right. So
I love hearing to my
yeah, but I'm sure you see those narratives out there, right? There's narratives out there that they push towards women. And what's your thoughts about that? But the things that they're teaching this next generation of women, that maybe some things that you, in your personal experience in your marriage, that what men are looking for, how to keep a man. But oftentimes, I'm sure you see a lot of ideologies and narratives that's pushed on the public, especially to a lot of the younger generation of women. And you probably like, no, those are things are not how to keep a man. Those are things are not how to treat a man. And there's a lot of women out there, they think that all they do need is sex, and all they got to bring to the table is the good looks and sex. What do you say to that messaging and to all those women out there? Like, what's your thoughts about that?
Women today are just scared. They don't want to be broken. They don't want to let someone in and be horribly, let down. They don't want to go through what they saw their moms go through, their aunties go through, what the women on TV have gone through. There was a period of time where breakup and struggle love was on every single movie and every single TV show. That was the center of the show, was struggle love. Nobody has time for that disgrace and being cheated on. Nobody has that. And then when you're sitting there, you're talking to most men, as online, offline dating, you meet a lot of men who just want to just hook up, screw, and move on. Women don't want that. They want real love, real connection, and it feels like it's not real today. So it's hard to trust, especially when you're the child of the generation where everything was struggle love. So you grew up seeing your mom struggle. You grew up seeing your dad not being the man he's supposed to be, right? So these women don't want to have to go through these hardships. They're not interested, and they're scared at the end of the day, and then let's not even, and then on top of that, there's insecurities, there's low self-confidence, and there's not enough talk about what a woman looks like, should be like. There's not enough. Women are being raised as men. I did a video on TikTok, and it got almost 1 million views, and I was just talking about women being raised as men and what they're missing out on. And I remember that for the next 3 months, my calendar was booked with calls. My coaching program was just like, it was insane. It just blew up, right? That's what it is at the end of the day. They don't know how to be feminine because the generation that they've grown up in it's always been pushed masculine. It's always been pushed masculine. But
do you feel concerned? Do you feel concerned of the future? Because I do agree with you. The women are being raised as men and being masculinized, and I also see what's happening with the men. The men are being raised as women to be feminine. So for me, it's like this is going to be interesting to see where this goes.
I am concerned because there truly is. So at this point, these women now have gone out, they've got their careers, they got their money, they got their lifestyle, and they're wondering why they're still so unhappy, why they are so empty. Why am I alone? They self-isolate and they're in pain. You know what I'm saying? And they're wondering, where's the fulfillment supposed to become? Because I was told that once you get your money, once you get your this, once you get your that, all the men were supposed to have, but happiness doesn't happen outside of you. Happiness happens within you, right? And if you're too busy suppressing your emotions, you don't even know. Some people are going through anxiety and don't even realize they have anxiety attacks or panic attacks. These people are suppressing how they feel. They don't focus on what's going on, emotions, all that kind of stuff. If you're suppressing yourself, how are you supposed to find happiness? How are you supposed to find fulfillment? How are you supposed to exercise this part of you? And it's like, my thing is this, it's like, if change is growth, growth is living. So if you're not growing, then you're not living. And if you're not living, you're dying. And that's what a lot of women are doing emotionally, spiritually. They are dying. They are hungering for love. I call it spiritual starvation. You know what I mean? Like love is to the spirit that food is to the stomach. If we don't eat, what happens? We die.
Oh, we're starving.
Right? But if you're not self-loving, if you're too busy suppressing instead of self-loving, spiritually, you dying. Right? What kind of life is that? You're just existing, just going through the motions. You just every morning you got to coax yourself to get up. Come on, get up. You feel like a dead weight going through it. That's not quality of life. And so many of us continue in that pattern until we fall into a deep depression, and it's a deep, deep, dark hole, and we're suffering. Nobody knows we're suffering, and you don't know how to get out. Right? Don't know how to get out. And that's crippling for so many women. They're struggling with this, and you would never tell. They're the ones who are smiling. They got it all together. Everything. You would never know how much they're suffering on the inside. And that's a place we don't need to be. And a lot of people are trying to just live like that every day to day because they think, oh, this is normal. This is what we're supposed to go through. This is what it has to be. No.
You know what's funny? I invite a lot of people on the podcast before in the past. I've been doing this for almost little over a year and a half. I've talked to women before I invited them on my podcast. If you look at their profile, they're happy. They're traveling the world. They got all the money, have a big following, all the likes and the men in their comments. But when I talk to them privately, they want a man. They want a relationship.
Of course.
And starving. But you will never see it on their profile. When you look at their profile, you will never know.
Of course.
This is out of all those women, this is 99% of them. 99% of them. So, but Sunni, I want to pass it to you. Final thoughts on that? Anything you want to add on to that topic about what we're seeing today, the dating culture of men and women, what society is pushing them towards? So it seems like we're just pushing each other to be independent instead of being interdependent on one another. I think being interdependent on one another is what that we should be hearing, but not independence, because relationship is
interdependent.
Relationship is team up.
Relationship is definitely a team. It's a team. It's not independent. No, that doesn't work.
What do you think about it?
But basically, but like I think the women that post like on social media, even myself included, it's just social media is just social media. You never get to know a real person. You just post all the happy moments and all these pretentious lifestyle, and they're just in it for the likes and like feeling validated for the social media. But that's not really that's just the outside. And as you guys have mentioned, that the inside is they're pretty lonely and depressed or whatever it is. So the more lively your social media account is, the more lonelier and depressed you are actually inside. And also in terms of dating, where it's heading, it's actually already happening. I think roles are reversing. So I see a lot more house husbands, because the women now are more independent. They have their career. The salary is much more higher than males these days. They've got it all down packed. And some women don't mind that. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was walking down the street and I see house husbands just pushing a pram in the middle while I'm on lunch break, and they're just like pushing them in the middle of the day, and they're doing groceries. So definitely it's heading in that direction, because of this change that we're going through in modern dating. Yeah, I think that's the direction that we're heading. But there are also some like more people that stick to the traditional ways, the good old traditional ways where the guys provide and then the girl just provides, take care of the family, and they probably have their own side business these days. But yeah, so I think it's definitely, times have changed, and yeah, it's really, you don't really know. And I actually, guys are actually more feminine than girls. So like, I'm on dating apps these days. I'm just like, seriously, can you just man the fuck up? Like, seriously, like, can you just like be more manly? Like, what happened to all these generation of these men these days? They're just so, I'm just like, what is going on here? Like, and I mean, if they are more feminine, I feel like sometimes I'm more masculine. I'm the guy in the relationship rather than like the woman. Yeah. So yeah, it is concerning because, but I think it is what it is these days. I don't know what it's gonna look like in like 10 years later. Maybe all the men are gonna be house husbands, and the females are all gonna be the working and providing for the family. Who knows? But I think no. No. But it's a hybrid kind of dating modern world these days. It works both ways, and everyone is different. If women, they don't mind providing for the family, they don't mind having a house husband, and it works for them as long as they're happy. They're gonna feed, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. And if you're the traditional type and you're a guy, you just want a wife that cooks and cleans and take care of your family while the guy provides for the family, that works as well. I mean, I think it's all different for everyone. You just really got to know what you're happy with, and what you want in a relationship and a family. I think that's what it is at the end of the day. And it's no longer the traditional way. It's more like a hybrid where anything works. And yeah, just be happy and find that person, whoever it is. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sunny. Appreciate that. But ladies, we have come to the end of the podcast. Shout out to ladies real quick. And you guys, we had some great conversations. You guys kept it real honest tonight. I didn't have to really use my
the lie detector determined that was a lie.
That tonight. You guys were honest. You guys kept it real. Sometimes in the podcast, sometimes the ladies will try to cap on the podcast. But you guys kept it honest tonight. But thank you so much for being real. I enjoyed this conversation. In the live chat, definitely enjoyed the conversation that we were having tonight. Yeah, definitely enjoyed it. Thank you so much, ladies. We've come to the end. Can you just share your final thoughts? What's your takeaway from tonight's discussion? How can people find you? How can people find your support, your channel, so they can support you? Let's start with you, Sunny. Sunny, final thoughts, and how can people find you?
Final thoughts, I guess I'll think about what Chantel says, because she's married and she's gone through that kind of. I'll take her opinion and think about it. Maybe, and where you can find me, I'll post my link to TikTok on TikTok and Instagram. So yeah, that's mainly my two channels. But I'll send you the link and hopefully it on your YouTube. And thank you so much, Will, for inviting us to the show. And Chantel, it's quite an insight having your opinions as well from a different point of view. So it's really appreciative as well. And thank you
Welcome.
everyone
All
for
right,
the
no
comments,
worries.
for coming to this live. Yeah. It's a good Sunday. It's a Sunday for me here, so it's a very nice Sunday chill afternoon. A great way to end the weekend for me. So it's awesome discussion.
No worries, Sunny. Thank you so much for being on tonight, and thank you for having an open mindset to have an open conversation tonight. Thank you so much. Pass it to you, Chantel. Chantel, final thoughts, and how can people find you?
Final thoughts, ladies. At the end of the day, we've gone through so much. Yes, there's pain. We got walls up. We got fears. We got emotional baggage. All of the following. However, we cannot hold on to it if we want happiness. It's either baggage. I'm going to drop that baggage, or we're going to pick up and learn how to create our own happiness within first, so that we can then attract a man that will support it, praise it, protect it, etc. down the line, right? I am a love and relationship coach. You can find me at Chantel Natasha. I do my TikToks, TikTok lives Tuesday, Friday, 1 to 2. It's really late here, so like my mind started to shut off. But yeah, I have a program. It's called the Healthy Relationship Remedy. It is open. It's for high achieving single women and married women who are looking to break the cycle of toxic relationships, create their happy ever after, so that they can attract a partner where they can have those healthy love-filled relationships that they desire and deserve. So if that is something that you're interested in, you can hit me up at TikTok at Chantel Natasha. Click the link in the bio and book your free consult, so we can make sure that we are a good fit before we move forward. I had a great time. Thank you, Will, for having me. Sunny, loved your insight as well. I had so much fun. I hope this is not the last time you guys see me on this podcast.
Oh, no.
Welcome to be here. And you said, well, sometimes I know I come off harsh. Listen, sometimes I get passionate, but it's all love. And so as long as you see me smiling, we're good.
Of course. No, Chantel, I want to invite you guys to the panel. We have more girls, especially the girls who think differently. That's what I need you to come on and talk to those women. It's not always me. Look. She's coming from a woman. She's saying the same things I'm saying. It's not. I'm not the bad guy. So yeah, this is not the last. Sorry, this is not the last. There's more. We have podcasts every week, so I definitely plan to have you guys back. I was very excited. But we had a great conversation tonight. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for taking your time. And then thank you for everybody on the live chat. Thank you so much. I know BL17 said, thank you, ladies. Enjoyed every minute of it. Man, thank you so much for being on here for the entire stream, for full 2 hours. Shout out to you, BL17. Too wonderful. Say, great panel, everyone. Best of luck, ladies. Take it easy. Thank you so much. Too wonderful. And Della said, I see some of you guys in the live chat. You guys are trying to find each other partners. That's good. You guys are helping each other out. But nevertheless, thank you so much. I'll definitely drop the links for both these ladies. Support them as well. We do this every single Saturday. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Like and subscribe to get notifications when we do go live next week. We have a whole new panel, whole new topic. And then, of course, thank you, Della Valfusi. Thank you for your super chat donation. Always appreciate for all my loyal supporters out there supporting me. And ladies, I know we had a hot topic. Thank you for being open for the hot topic. We had a hot topic. That's what we do on this podcast. But thank you for having these open conversations. I know it's getting to the end. Ladies, thank you so much for your time. Chantel, I know it's late. Good night to you. And then Sunny, have a good day for the rest of your day. Okay. Ladies, have a good one. Thank you so much. Bye, y'all.
Bye, everyone.